Hello, I'm back with some exciting gaming news. Imagine all the games you play, and now imagine that you don't own any of them. This was brought to my attention by a headline reading, Ubisoft Exec says players should feel comfortable with not owning games.
What the heck are you talking about?
Ubisoft stirs up controversy after its director of subscription suggests that gamers should be comfortable with not owning their games. Now, we already have models like Steam where you don't technically own the games that you pay for. What you actually have is more of a license to play the game on Steam. So for any reason whatsoever at any time at all, Steam can decide to remove a game and not refund you. It's in the terms and service that you agree to when you make a Steam account. And it's not just Steam. I'm a big Steam guy over here, okay? Epic Game Launcher, the Ubisoft one that keeps changing its name, I can't ever remember. And then you have platforms like GOG, where you actually own the games you're buying. Now, this concerning headline has been making gamers a bit nervous and a bit offended, and I'll go over that in a little bit why. But you have to understand, they're just trying to do what Game Pass is doing, the Xbox Game Pass. They're just calling theirs Ubisoft Plus, giving you access to things like Far Cry 6 for as little as $7.99. But that's monthly. It's kind of like a Netflix subscription. And the reason why Ubisoft and other companies are doing this is because of how successful Xbox Game Pass is. $230 million in revenue in 1 month, that's absolutely insane.
You think it's worth it?
So is the Game Pass worth it? Well, let's take a look. With the Game Pass, you get access to over 400 games, and it's going to cost you around $10 a month. Or $120 a year. Also, $10 a month is for PC, and console is being charged $11 a month, so an extra dollar. Versus owning the game, which is just you buying one game. We're assuming it's AAA, studio quality, so $60 is pretty average for a AAA game. And then you never pay again? So is the Game Pass worth it? Well, it depends. I think for some people it's worth it, and I think for others it's a waste of money. For example, when I buy a game like Space Engineers, for example, or Skyrim, I know that I'm going to be spending hundreds, if not thousands of hours playing this game. I never want to have to worry about the game being taken off Game Pass, which, by the way, happens. For example, Hitman World of Assassination, aka the most confusing game to learn how to buy, that's a whole other story, is being taken off the Game Pass. And this can happen for many different reasons. I'm going to want to make sure I own that game, versus someone who works like a 9-to-5 job who just likes video games casually on their spare time after work.
I believe you have my stapler.
Now, the big problem with Game Pass or gaming subscriptions like this is that we're going to have a problem like we had with cable television, or that we're now having with streaming television services like Netflix. Now we have Disney Plus. If I want to watch The Mandalorian, I got to get Disney Plus. Oh, this week The Office isn't on Netflix anymore. Now I got to go over to Hulu to watch it there, or whatever. And the next thing you know, just to watch my favorite shows or play my favorite games is what I'm trying to say, I'm going to have different Game Passes, like the Ubisoft Plus game if I want to play Assassin's Creed games, etc. And since these big gaming companies running these gaming subscription passes are basically taking all of your money and spending it on licenses to put the games on the Game Pass, games are going to be flip-flopping back and forth between these different passes, and it's going to get quite annoying. But the biggest problem of all that I see that I don't think people are talking about is that if gaming subscriptions like Game Pass become the industry norm, the gaming industry is going to start moving towards cloud gaming. And there's a lot of problems with cloud gaming at the moment, like input lag, not being able to mod your games. Imagine playing vanilla Skyrim forever. I can't imagine. You wouldn't get things like Skyblivion. By the way, check out my Skyblivion video. The craziest mod I've ever seen. If you're not sure what cloud gaming is, a good example would be Stadia, or Stadia, I don't know how to say it.
Stadia.
Google, a little bit ahead of its time, came up with the idea of cloud gaming. And once you plug in their little Chromecast device into the back of your television or monitor or whatever, you can play any of the games that they offer on their Game Pass without needing to own a console or computer. But Stadia was a little bit ahead of its time, and after 3 years Google shut it down saying no one wanted it, no one bought in. But if a service like Stadia becomes the industry norm in 10, 20, 30 years from now, however long that's going to be, we're not going to have control over our games anymore. We're not going to have ownership over our games. We're not going to be able to mod our games. This cloud gaming future starts to look a little bit grim. So when the director of Ubisoft subscriptions says gamers need to get comfortable not owning their games so that gaming subscriptions can take off, is being quite honest with you. If all of you guys start to buy into the Game Pass and all these executives see all the dollars coming in, they're going to be much more comfortable moving towards cloud gaming. And game development might change for better or for worse. Game developers might lose that creative spark, ingenuity, when these Game Pass giants will start to publish games. Fun developers to make the perfect Game Pass game, the perfect microtransaction hell. At the end of the day, people develop video games to make money. I think at the end of the day, a Game Pass and a consumer like myself can both live in harmony. There's a casual audience that will be satisfied when catered to by something like a Game Pass, and there will always be a platform like Steam or GOG where I can always buy the game outright and own it. The future of gaming might be uncertain, and it might look a bit grim through my lenses, but one thing that's for sure is that we're getting a complete overhaul in graphics. Unreal Engine 5 looks absolutely mind-blowingly fantastic. You gotta check it out. These games honestly look too real. To me, they look like real life. Check out this video. It's gonna blow your mind.